Larry Ellison, the man behind Oracle, one of the world's biggest tech companies, has some interesting thoughts about the future. He's not just talking about faster computers or fancier phones. He's talking about artificial intelligence, or AI, and how it will change the way we live. Specifically, he's talking about how AI will revolutionize law enforcement. Think robots in uniform patrolling the streets. Okay, maybe not robots, but Ellison believes AI-powered surveillance networks are just around the corner. He predicts these systems will be so sophisticated, so ever-present, that crime will plummet. It's a bold prediction, and one that raises a lot of questions.
Ellison isn't some lone wolf shouting from the sidelines. He's a powerful figure in the tech world, and his words carry weight. When he speaks, people listen, and what he's saying has big implications for all of us. Because if he's right, we're on the verge of a major societal shift. A world where Big Brother isn't just watching, but predicting our every move. A world where the line between safety and surveillance becomes increasingly blurred. So how would this AI-powered police state actually work? Ellison envisions a network of cameras, sensors, and algorithms working in concert. Imagine a system that can track your every move, analyze your behavior, and predict your next step. Suspicious activity? The AI flags it instantly, dispatching police before a crime even occurs. It's like having a cop on every corner, except it's not a cop, it's an algorithm. And it never sleeps, never takes a break, and never misses a beat.
This technology could be a game changer for law enforcement. Imagine being able to identify criminals in a crowd, track stolen vehicles, or even predict potential terrorist attacks. The possibilities seem endless, and for police officers on the ground, it could be a lifesaver. Real-time information, threat assessments, and backup just a click away. It's easy to see how AI could make their jobs easier and safer. But it's not just about catching the bad guys. Ellison argues that this constant surveillance would also improve police discipline. With cameras everywhere, there's nowhere to hide. No more shady dealings, no more abuse of power, just accountability, transparency, and hopefully, better behavior.
The potential benefits of this technology are hard to ignore. Imagine a world with dramatically lower crime rates. A world where you can walk down the street at night without fear. A world where your children can play in the park without worry. This is the utopia that Ellison and other proponents of AI surveillance are selling. And it's a seductive vision. Who wouldn't want to live in a safer world? But there's a dark side to this seemingly bright future. Because when you give someone, or something, that much power, you have to ask yourself, at what cost? What are we giving up in the name of security? Are we willing to sacrifice our privacy, our freedom, our very sense of self for the promise of a safer tomorrow? These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves before we hand over the keys to the kingdom to a bunch of algorithms. Because once that genie is out of the bottle, it's going to be very hard to put it back in. The idea of constant surveillance, even if it's by a supposedly impartial AI, is enough to make anyone a little uneasy. But the problems run much deeper than just a feeling of being watched. One of the biggest concerns is the potential for bias in the data that these AI systems are trained on, because AI is only as good as the information it's fed. And if that information is flawed, biased, or incomplete, the AI will be too. It's like teaching a child to read using only comic books. They might learn the words, but they won't understand the nuances of language.
This is not just a hypothetical concern. A 2016 investigation by the Washington Post revealed that police departments across the country are using crime prediction software that relies on deeply flawed data. The data often reflects historical biases and discriminatory policing practices, which means the AI systems trained on this data are likely to perpetuate these same biases. It's a vicious cycle that could lead to even more unfair and unjust outcomes, particularly for communities of color and other marginalized groups.
Section 5. The ghosts in the machine. The problem of bias in AI is not limited to law enforcement. It's a pervasive issue that affects everything from hiring practices to loan applications to criminal sentencing. The algorithms that power these systems are often shrouded in secrecy, making it difficult to understand how they work let alone identify and correct for bias. It's like trying to fix a broken clock when you can't even open the case. And even if we could peer under the hood, eliminating bias completely from AI is a daunting task. These systems are complex, constantly evolving, and often reflect the unconscious biases of their creators. It's like trying to remove a stain that's been there so long, it's become part of the fabric. It's a problem that requires constant vigilance, transparency, and a commitment to fairness. But it's a problem we need to solve if we want to create AI systems that are truly just and equitable. Section 6. When algorithms police the streets. One of the most concerning aspects of AI-powered surveillance is the potential for these systems to be used for predictive policing. This involves using algorithms to predict where crimes are likely to occur and who is likely to commit them. The idea is to deploy police resources more effectively and prevent crimes before they happen.
But critics argue that predictive policing is nothing more than high-tech racial profiling, reinforcing existing biases and targeting communities of color.
Imagine a world where algorithms decide who gets stopped and frisked, who gets followed home and who gets arrested. A world where your future is determined not by your actions, but by the whims of a machine. This is the dystopian future that many fear, a world where the presumption of innocence is replaced by the presumption of guilt based on your zip code, your skin color, or your online activity. The potential pitfalls of predictive policing are not just theoretical. In 2019, the Los Angeles Police Department, or LAPD, was forced to discontinue its controversial PredPol program after years of criticism and legal challenges.
The program, which used algorithms to predict where crimes were likely to occur, was accused of reinforcing racial biases and leading to over-policing in communities of color.
The LAPD's experience with PredPol serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of relying too heavily on technology without proper oversight and accountability. It's a reminder that even with the best of intentions, AI systems can be used in ways that are discriminatory and unjust. Beyond the specific concerns about bias and predictive policing, there's a broader philosophical question at stake. What kind of society do we want to live in? Are we comfortable with a world where our every move is tracked, recorded, and analyzed? A world where privacy is a distant memory and anonymity is impossible? Proponents of AI surveillance argue that if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to hide. But this argument misses the point. Privacy is not just about hiding wrongdoing, it's about freedom, autonomy, and the right to define our own lives. It's about the right to dissent, to disagree, and to be different without fear of reprisal. In a world without secrets, there is no room for individuality, creativity, or progress. The debate over AI surveillance is complex and multifaceted. There are valid arguments to be made on both sides. On the one hand, the potential benefits of this technology are undeniable. AI has the potential to make our communities safer, our streets more secure, and our lives more convenient. But on the other hand, the risks are real and significant. We need to proceed with caution, ensuring that these systems are developed and deployed in a responsible and ethical manner. We need to have a serious conversation about the trade-offs involved, weighing the potential benefits against the potential costs.
Ultimately, the question is not whether AI will transform law enforcement, but how. Will it be a force for good, creating a safer and more just world? Or will it usher in a new era of mass surveillance and social control?
The answer lies in our hands. We need to demand transparency, accountability, and oversight from the companies developing these technologies and the governments deploying them. We need to ensure that these systems are used to protect our rights, not erode them. The future of our freedom may depend on it.
It's time to have that conversation, to ask the tough questions, and to demand answers, because the stakes are too high to do anything less. The future is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it. And the choices we make today will determine the kind of world we leave behind for generations to come.